That was not pretty, but it was damn sure entertaining. And I think it is worth mentioning on the first football Sunday of the year, my focus was squarely on the Indiana Fever, not the NFL. In fact, when I switched over, it was to the Liberty and Aces, the end of that game, rather than, focusing on the first football Sunday, which is crazy when you really think about it. And the Indiana Fever are wildly entertaining. Now, they did not start this game well at all. Seemingly a lack of focus, a lack of execution, a lack of attention to detail, a bunch of sloppy turnovers early in this game. Nalissa Smith had another really rough one in this game. They gave up too many threes, I thought, early. And Clark was very frustrated, too. You could see it, sort of an extension of that Lynx game where at the end of the half, she could not wait to get off the floor and seemingly made a beeline for the locker room. So that was the energy at halftime. And the Fever go down 16 points in this game, where it felt like, all right, they're going to lose again. And, look, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. They have clinched a playoff spot. And it's hard to manufacture urgency where urgency doesn't really exist, right? You got to work on getting better as a team, but the urgency doesn't exist like it did for the Atlanta Dream, who played a pretty good overall game. Ryan Howard was excellent in this game. In fact, she should probably chastise her coach, Tanisha Wright. I don't know what happened at the end of that game where they fouled Clark twice in a row when they had an opportunity to play defense. Caitlin calmly sinks the free throws. But, this was a group effort to get back into the game. I thought Temi Fagbenle actually did a nice job. She epitomized the idea that the game wasn't pretty, but it was effective. And I thought she did really well in this one. I think Lexi Hull did really well in this one. Again, I mean, Lexi Hull, that's like a normal thing now for her with the defensive effort and the hustle plays, but she's also just become a knockdown shooter. This was very early, but you could see Caitlin keeping her dribble alive, Hull relocating, Hull getting open, Hull firing, Hull hitting. So that was the, questionable spot at the beginning of the year, and Hull has filled that in. They're sort of doing the power forward by committee right now, but they still have the 3 all-stars. And all of them went over 20 points yet again. All of them went over 20 points yet again. Kelsey Mitchell, never lacking in confidence. You can see her on this play in transition. She pulls up for the 3. I don't even think it was Kelsey's best game, but nonetheless, she's capable of doing that. She's capable of doing that. I certainly don't think it was Caitlin Clark's best game, but we're now in the point of Caitlin Clark's rookie campaign where in her games where she quote unquote isn't at her best, she is still filling up the stat sheet and doing things that nobody else in the league, quite frankly, can do consistently, like a shot like this, fading. Again, she gets the ball off. She's in motion here. And here she comes, moving again all the way around. In fact, Bentley hits her, fading to the corner in the left cache. And Caitlin made many of her trademark passes in this one as well. Get ahead pass to Fact Bentley. There was a big one like that. She fed the block when Aaliyah Boston had it going. And this may have been Aaliyah Boston's best game of the season, if not the best game of her career, really. Aaliyah Boston was wonderful, sensational, whatever word you want to use, orchestrating not only as, another passer out of the block, but of course as a scorer. And you could see her use, there's Clark drawing the attention, and there's Boston with the fakes. She used a lot of pass fakes, a lot of shot fakes, great footwork, and she finished. When you put that all in combination, it's just obviously difficult to deal with for anybody, especially when all 3 of them are out on the floor. And Clark, even when you think you've got her shut down, you can still get hit with a 3 ball. And you see it on this play, physical defense there. Clark is able to get away from it, fire it up. Again, Boston and her, together, that's just a lot of attention you got to deal with when those 2 are working in unison. When those 2 are working in unison, it's really tough to deal with. And they come back from 16 down and win the game. Clark ties Sabrina Ionescu for the most 25-point 10 assist games in WNBA history. Aaliyah Boston breaks her career high in this one. Lexi Hull continues to fill that role, that every championship team has. The only thing Hull is missing is a little size because Howard was able to shoot over her. And the dream, they have some good players, some scorers, Alicia Gray, Tina Charles, obviously. So they wanted it and they went for it. And the Fever were able to respond despite not playing their best, despite going down 16 points, to come all the way back to win. In fact, Bentley was on the floor for the big money minutes in this because, as I mentioned, Alyssa Smith struggled yet again. I mean, the problem with Teme is she's not really much of a scorer, right? She can't really do much to create, but she played really good defense in this one. She hustled and made all the hustle plays, her alongside Hull. And when you have the 3 all-stars to build that base around, that's what you need from the rest of the team. That's what you need from everybody else on the roster. Shaquille O'Neal has famously called them the others. And those are the players that are going to have to step up in the postseason. You're going to need, clutch hustle plays from Lexi Hull. You're going to need clutch hustle plays from somebody like Temi Fegbanley. And you're going to need 20-plus points from Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston. I mean, here's just like, this is an example of not even a play that stands out on the highlight sheet, but look at that. Clark, that deep post-entry pass to Boston. Boston with a baby hook to finish, and she consistently hit those shots in this game. And that was the most explosive. She'd been playing a little bit more of a role as of late, but now her scoring has started to come up again, and she really, helped carry them. And then Caitlin, too, helped carry them as Clark was just gets fouled, walks to the free throw line, knocks the free throws down. Doesn't even, there's no second thought about that. And they only had 6 turnovers after all the rough turnovers in the first half, in the entirety of the second half through the overtime. I think Caitlin was on the floor for 45 minutes. Now they have a little time off before the showdowns with the Aces. That's going to be something to see. And with the fresh legs, I like their chances. I do. Especially against the Aces backcourt, which hasn't been stellar defensively. I think Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell might cook in that one.